Welcome to the plumbing in a washing machine and dishwasher video with DIY Doctor. I'm going to run through quickly what we've done here in order to get the dishwasher and the washing machine in. Fortunately, we're on a bit of a refurbishment job, so everything was pulled apart pretty much anyway, so access was maybe a lot easier than you're going to get at home. But of course the first thing that we need to do is tee in to the existing hot and cold water supply. And that's a separate video, how to tee into hot and cold water supplies, or how to tee into a water supply full stop. So that's a separate video, go and have a look at that one. Incidentally, the washing machine requires only cold if that's what you want to do, but we find that with a combination boiler such as the one here, it's actually cheaper to let the boiler heat the hot water up as it's required than let the washing machine heat it up. If you run the cold to the washing machine has to heat the water up, which is quite expensive. So we've got a hot and a cold feed in here for the washing machine and a cold feed for the dishwashers. Dishwashers only have a cold feed because health and safety regulations require that the water has to be heated to a given temperature within the machine. So you can't supply hot to a dishwasher. So we've teed in and we've provided the taps here. They're upstanding, and on the end they've got isolation valves, washing machine isolation valves. They're simple ball fixed valves and an interchangeable head, so you can change. This one's obviously got a red head on it for hot, blue for cold, etc., but they can be changed around if you like. So that's getting the water. So you'll notice that these pipes are clipped very, very firmly. The washing machine requires bursts of water in surges. You don't want your pipes to move around and cause any kind of water hammer, so they're clipped all the way back to the source, which is through this little access trap here. We have a little tiny bathroom in there and we've clipped into the pipes there. So that's how we got the water to the job. Next we'll talk about the electricity. This socket here, this socket plate here, we found to be a spur from a ring main. There was a washing machine here once before, and we wanted to add some more sockets in this particular area. Now it's against electrical advice and regulations to be spurring from a spur, so we connected this spur via this junction box. This was put in to add that to the ring main, so we brought the ring main down to here and connected that socket to the ring main. From that socket we then spurred off to this fixed fused spur with a neon light. Okay, so that's a fuse in there, that's the neon light, that's an indicator that that's on, and that now is feeding this socket down here, which is the socket for the washing machine and the dishwasher. So if anything goes wrong, that can be turned off simply just by clicking that. So this socket now becomes the spur via a fixed fuse with a neon and not a spur off a spur. Okay, so that's how we got the electricity supply here. And then of course we've got the waste. Now this is the biggest problem that a lot of emails come to us about, and that is how, what do I do with the waste from my washing machine? If you're on an external wall, it's quite usual to drill through the wall to pass your waste pipe out through the wall and then run it into a gully outside, or to turn it into your soil and vent pipe. That's this big 4-inch pipe that you'll have running somewhere horizontally or mostly vertically, but maybe there's a couple of feed pipes to it. That's the soil and vent pipe. In this situation, the soil and vent pipe runs through this boxing that I'm sitting on here. This boxing was created to lift the washing machine and the dishwasher higher up, which allows us to push it further back to the wall, because the soil and vent pipe runs through this wall into the manhole outside. So we connected, I'm making this video after we put the lid on the box, which was a bit silly, but I'll explain to you how we did it anyway. So this is solvent weld pipe from this washing machine trap. You can buy these as one unit, right down to this little nut here. Let me get that out of the way so that you can see it properly. This is a washing machine, a waste trap and pipe. You can buy that as a kit, that's a great idea. And then this we made up with solvent weld, as we did over here. And then that goes down into, as I said, into the soil pipe. Now there's a couple of ways of connecting a 40mm waste pipe. Waste pipes come, as you'll see from our solvent weld video, waste pipes come in two kinds. One is 30, I haven't got a 32, a 32mm diameter and a 40mm diameter, which these are. Because there's such a big flow of water from the washing machine and the dishwasher, 40mm pipes are required. Okay, so we need to connect that 40mm pipe into this without any leaks. There's a couple of ways of doing this, and this thing here that I'm holding here is called a strap-on boss. Now, a boss, for those of you who don't know, is a generic term used in plumbing and architecture for any kind of protuberance out of an object. So that's what a boss means, and this is obviously going to be a protuberance out of this pipe. So this is a strap-on boss. It comes, as you can see, with a strap, and normally you won't be able to get to the end of your soil pipe, so that strap opens up. The pipe can then the strap can then be tightened around the pipe using the bolts and nut that are supplied with it, and that of course leaves that open. I'm sure the camera will catch up with me. I'm sorry, that was a bit quick. And that then is drilled out to accommodate for the pipe. So let's go through that process. But before we drill the hole, let me tell you about these things which we always use wherever possible. These are called clip-on bosses. They're so much easier. They're solvent weld bosses. This takes a 40mm pipe, and once I drill my hole, which for a 40mm pipe the hole needs to be 44mm, basically because you've got the walls of the pipe to allow for as well, and that clips into the hole. We'll talk about that in a moment. With a strap-on boss, once you've drilled the hole and you've strapped on your boss, to make sure the joint stays watertight, this isn't solvent weld at all, you need a boss adapter, and this is a 40mm boss adapter. It's a little rubber flange, and once you've got that in there, the 40mm pipe pushes into that rubber flange. There's your joint, nice and watertight. However, these are a bit fiddly. Sometimes you can't get to the back of them to tighten the bolt up, so the clip-in boss is absolutely ideal. Let me see if I can do this sitting down. I've already got a 44mm drill bit in my drill, so normally you would mark obviously where you want the pipe to go, so let's put it in here. Okay, so we've drilled our 44mm hole. We'll take the hole saw out of the way, and that's going to allow us then to simply clip this into place. Now, before we clip it into place, I'm not going to do this live because these are about a fiver each, and as soon as you've glued it with solvent weld adhesive, it's lost, and there's no need for that. So you get some solvent weld adhesive. Please have a look at our solvent weld video and you'll see us using solvent weld adhesive. You paint the underside of the clip-on boss with solvent weld adhesive, you paint around the hole with the solvent weld adhesive, and then lining up the curve in the boss. Now sometimes you have to use, in fact we quite often use, I really should be secure, you have to remember that the pipe is normally, this pipe would normally be in situ, and there we have it. That is, I don't know if the camera can get a close-up of that. That is a tightly fitting boss into which your washing machine waste fits with a solvent weld joint. Again, look at the solvent weld video, and there we have it. And this is what's happening underneath this boss. Both of these pipes are coming through. It is possible with this sort of setup to join, let's say this is the dishwasher and this is the washing machine, to go through one pipe. We don't like to do that, we like to split them up. Every now and again, of course, the washing machine is on at the same time as the dishwasher. That's a lot of water, a lot of force going into this pipe, causing a lot of noise. So we split them up just to allow greater flexibility. So that basically is how we plumb in a washing machine and dishwasher. You'll need to see the video on joining to hot and cold pipes, or just joining to pipes. You'll need to see the video on solvent weld, but and you'll also need to if you'd like to have a look at the videos on spurring from electrical circuits. Basically, we're ready to put the washing machine and the dishwasher in as soon as we've put some skirting on the front here and some vinyl or whatever onto the box, so that's ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed the video.